Here's a few things that you guys can do if your dog is struggling with resource guarding issues. First and foremost, isolate if it's over food, toys, or space. Those are typically the three things that we'll see dogs resource guard over. If it's over space, you want to eliminate all furniture privileges temporarily, as the more access the dog has to these things, the more opportunity there will be for them to develop territorial associations of those places. If it's over toys, there's a good chance your dog has way too much access to toys and miscellaneous objects that are scattered all over the house. You want to make sure you take away all of those things temporarily and then re-add them back in as interactive games. We want to make sure anytime we're giving a resource, we have some degree of impulse control around that resource. We want to make sure that the dog has the ability to release that resource when we need them to. We want to make sure the dog has the ability to wait for that resource if we were to throw it and have them not charge right away towards it. We want to make sure we have complete control over those things when we're giving them. And lastly, if it's over food, you want to make sure you're creating a clear, predictable routine for how we feed the dog. In a lot of cases, dogs are free fed. They have too much access to the food. They're constantly grazing over it, giving them numerous opportunities to start displaying those resource guarding behaviors or those aggression-based behaviors over it. So we want to make sure that our dog's feeding routine is consistent. We want to make sure the dog is hungry enough where they're eating the food in a timely fashion and they're not dilly-dallying around it, increasing the chances of those resource guarding issues happening. And we want to make sure we have some real good impulse control around that food. A lot of people utilize something like a sit and wait, where we want to just make sure that while we're prepping the food, if we go to put it down, the dog is not going to go for it. So you want to make sure you have a clear way to be able to discipline the dog for those types of things and make sure they're waiting for that food before you go to take it from them. Additionally, keep in mind that resource guarding typically comes from us constantly bothering the dog while they have the resource. So if your dog is used to chewing on a toy and you constantly petting them while they're doing so, or eating their food and you constantly trying to stick your hand in the bowl or take it from them, that is going to increase their resource guarding. They're constantly on edge in the presence of you because they feel like you're a threat around the food. So by eliminating that temporarily, you start to increase their confidence around those resources. And then when we go to take them, we make sure that we have a very, very clear way to be able to enforce our drop command or our release command or whatever it may be in order to get them nice and focused in.